In this video, we will show you how to enable match tolerance in Sage Intacct to ensure accurate recording of transactions. Match tolerance allows the system to flag lines in the transaction when the quantity, unit price, or both exceeds the tolerance level that has been set up. To begin, let's navigate to Applications, Purchasing, Setup, Configurations. In the Configurations page, scroll down to Enable Functionalities and click on the Enable Match Tolerance to activate the functionality. You have the option to select a Match Tolerance GL account. This is the account where any variances will be posted. If you prefer to leave it blank, variances will then post according to the account mapping in the transaction definition. Then you specify the transaction definition that you want to validate, and you go ahead and select and specify the transaction definitions to validate the source transaction. I have PO receiver inventory with the quantity tolerance of 5%, and I have the purchase invoice with the price tolerance of 5%. Now what the system will do, it will validate the quantity only in the receiver, and in the purchase invoice it will validate the price only. So what Sage Intacct will do, it will automatically flag the transaction as an exception when the quantity and the price tolerance percent is under or over what is specified here. And only the users with the appropriate permissions can then edit the transaction with exceptions to either correct the variance or to accept the variance and allow the transaction to go through the rest of the transaction workflow. Once you've completed, then you save your setup. So now that we've enabled the match tolerance, now we're going to go ahead and create the purchase order. Now navigate to Purchasing, All, Order, and click on the plus sign just next to Purchase Order Inventory. Add in all the order information. Vision Post is the supplier. The base currency is ZAR. Item, we're purchasing laptops, placing them at the Cape Town warehouse. And we're purchasing 55 laptops at a price of 4,500. Now I'm going to click on Show Details to add in more dimensions. The location is South Africa. The department is Admin. And once you've completed, you review the information for your order and post the purchase order. Now that we've created the purchase order, we're going to receive the laptops. We're going to convert the purchase order to a PO receiver inventory. But now we didn't get the number of laptops that we've ordered. There was only 47 in the shipment. So we're going to change the quantity from 55 to 47 and post the receiver. So now the receiver changed the quantity to 47, and once you've reviewed your receiver, you post the transaction. So now that we've posted the receiver inventory, if we look at the state, it's on exception, meaning that it's either over or under the percent tolerance that we've set up in our system. Now the manager or the user with the appropriate permissions can resolve the exception. So they will be able to resolve the exception by going into the transaction that needs to be resolved. So there will be a banner message at the top that indicates that the transaction has one or more match tolerance exceptions. So when I scroll down to review the exceptions on the line entries, you will see an exception. And when you hover over to the exception point, you see information about what the variance is about. So in this case, it's on the quantity, and the variance is 14.55%, whereas our tolerance is 5%. So the purchasing manager or the finance manager will then decide if they change the number of quantities or accept the variance, or they can override the exception. So we're going to override this exception. The PO receiver is posted, and you'll be able to convert it further to the next transaction. And that's how match tolerance is enabled in Sage Intacct.